One last moment, and Cooper Kupp talked about this yesterday. The play that kept the Rams from getting the ball back with about 3 minutes left.
Right.
3rd and 7.
Right.
And I'm sorry if I didn't tell the control room about this one, so we may not have it queued up. But he makes the catch, lunges with the ball, and he said yesterday that's the cardinal sin. He shouldn't have done it because, we see that at the goal line. That's the North Korea precursor. When you lunge the ball out like that, there's a chance you're going to lose possession of it. So he makes the catch. He's going to the ground. And there's an interesting question here. Was he going to the ground? Was he not going to the ground? It was in that gray area where kind of going to the ground, but kind of he was up. So the process was completed. And then he lunges. And does he get the first down? And he did say yesterday, you're not supposed to do that. But he did it, and it was close. And then look, Sean McVay, one of the best coaches in the NFL, he's got a Super Bowl win. But he called timeout, and then he wanted to drop the red flag. And it was kind of funny because the broadcast didn't know what was going on. Like, just watch your screen on this
show,
one.
right?
Because he's holding the red flag, and they're telling him you can't do it. And he said, you could read it. I'm not a very good lip reader, but I know what why not looks like. Because it's like he's like the demeanor of like a little kid who wants to go out and play with his friends. Like, well, why not? Like, I can't. And that kept the thing from being reviewed. Now, I guess he could have given up his other timeout. Even though you can't call two timeouts in a row, I think I remember a situation where somebody called timeout, then threw the challenge flag, the challenge failed, and ended up losing 2 timeouts.
Yeah.
I think that's possible. I think he could have done that. He just didn't want to do it.
Well, this is where they have to hammer some things down, and we get back into the old classic world called inconsistency of the NFL refereeing in 2025. Because I think he's sitting there going, wait, big play, big moment. I've been some other games, and 3:45 or whatever, adjust the spot and look at it. This is close. This is a big moment of the football game. What's going on
That's
here?
Right, replay assist.
Right.
What's replay assist going to do
What are they
here?
going to do? Are they going to do something here? So I think he calls the timeout because he didn't get to see a clean look of the play, and he's kind of like, ooh, I think this is close. I mean, again, watching the game, my natural thought watching it live time was he's a little short. That's what I thought when I saw the replays. I will say I thought he was a little short. Right? Now, I don't know if that would have been enough evidence to overturn it or anything, but I certainly can understand him sitting there going, wait, can we see a replay? Is 3:45 park? I mean, gosh, this is down to inches. Are we sure he definitely got the first down here? So I can totally understand in that moment of why he's doing that. And that's the interesting part and some of the things I think they need to nail down as far as this whole process is concerned.
Watch the catch. He's getting pulled to the ground after he has the ball. I don't think he's going to the ground, but that's one of the things they would have looked at on replay review. And then the question is, did he get there? And when you look at the spot, watch the guy at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Where he's standing, he's short.
Yeah.
Where he's standing, he's short.
Right.
And he's doing the emphatic, he was down when the ball came out.
Yeah.
But he's standing short of that yellow line.
Yes, it looks like it. And I think if we really got a down the line look totally, I would say body parts were down before he got to the 35-yard line. I feel like it was a little short. But then, the timeout gets called. And then I don't know what happened off of that. Does the NFL tell him, hey, don't challenge it? There's no way we're going to overturn it or whatever? I feel like that's kind of the answers he got there in that moment. But, a little peculiar how that all went down right there.
You still, if you throw the red flag, you still you force them. This is the problem with replay assist. It has contributed to the Orwellian quality of replay review right now because we never know when the buzzer is going to go off and they're going to say, make this into this, flip this into that. And sometimes the coach has to burn one of his challenges. Sometimes the coach doesn't have to use his challenge at all.
Right.
Or an automatic review in that situation wasn't available because there was still more than 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It wasn't a fourth down. There was nothing to activate automatic review. So it would have been, if anything, a coach's challenge or expedited review. The whole thing feels broken. It feels like they're just doing everything they can to hold it together until the end of the season when they maybe take a step back and try to figure out a better way to do this. They've allowed so many little expansions and tweaks and this and that there are just some flaws that are maddening, and it seems unfair. And it seems like they are trying to rush the game along. That's what Walt Anderson said last week in defending the failure to have a full replay review in the Bills-Broncos game after the Brandon Cooks non-catch that became an interception. They just want to keep the game going. Well, why? You got 60, 70 million people watching. Like, we don't need to hurry this thing.
Right.
There's nothing else going on.
Right.
It's not past bedtime in the East. Everybody's snowed in. Go ahead and take your time. But unfortunately, they couldn't do the full review, and Sean McVay opted to keep his timeout. He didn't want to lose 2 timeouts in that sequence.
Yeah.
But why do you? That's the other side of it too. Like, why can't you call a timeout and then drop the red flag? I guess they want you to make that decision before the next snap. They want you to make a firm decision whether or not you're going to commit your red flag to it or not. They don't want to give you the timeout, and then you have an extended period of time to make your decision about whether or not you're going to use the red flag.
Yeah,
It's just something about it doesn't feel right.
Right.
With all these different mechanisms for reviewing plays, it feels like they've really put the coaches in a bad spot.
I agreed. I think that's the problem there, right? And I think he's looking at it going, wait, yeah, there's 1:20 left. I don't want to throw my challenge flag here and maybe, lose a challenge and not have an ability.
There was 3:11.
3:20 or whatever, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it was more than 2 minutes.
And regardless, he's looking at it going, wait, I don't know if I want to use it. And also on top of that going, wait, I've seen the NFL and other games this year stop and readjust the spot or look at it a little bit. And I did think Fox was a little late in getting the replay up in general, and I think that just led to some uncertainty from the Rams sideline.
Hey, one of the most undercovered and under-focused stories this year, they got that whole virtual measurement thing, and they never use it. I don't know what the numbers are in comparison to the way it used to be, but that virtual measurement happens a hell of a lot less frequently than they brought out the red sticks. And there was a moment, or orange sticks, there was a moment, my rods and cones are messed up. In the Patriots-Broncos game, there was a close play along the sideline, and the player went out of bounds, and the official knew exactly how to play it. Like, he picked the spot, and he was firm about it, and he's telling the sticks to move, and there's just, they don't even press pause. Just go. It's a first down. Go. And I don't think it's an accident. I don't think it's a fluke. I think they want to have as few measurements as possible because I haven't seen the numbers, but I have eyes. It feels like we have had a minuscule number of those in comparison to the days. It seemed like at least once a game they'd come out with the sticks and they'd do the whole dog and pony show of pulling the orange stick.
No, but yeah, if it's close, they give them a first down to move along the game and keep it going. And again, to me, this is where the game is inconsistent again because we don't care about inches, right, in the first and second and third quarter. Oh, it's close, first down. And all of a sudden we get late in the fourth and we go, wait, let's take out the Zapruder film and slow it down to the nth degree and let's look at every millisecond and centimeter to see if we should move it a centimeter forward or back, and that's what feels weird and off. That we just go, first down, we don't really care about the spot, and then we get to the end of the football game, we go, we're going to inspect every centimeter to see if it was right, and that to me is where it's just weird. It's weird as a viewer.
And one last point before we break, and this is something I hadn't even thought of. McVay just should have thrown the red flag, got an email.
Yeah, I don't know why either.
There's only 3 minutes left in the game.
Right.
Like, what are you saving it for?
Exactly right.
You got a minute before it's all automatic anyway.
Right.
Throw that red flag and be done with it and get that thing reviewed, and maybe you would have gotten lucky and they would have had a fourth down play, and then they would have had a decision to make.
Right.
Do you go for it? Do you punt? What do you do? Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.